Alright guys, here we're going to talk about The Walking Dead Season 2, Part 9. This is the second half premiere.
Yeah.
This is the Carl saga.
Oh, boy.
So how did you end up feeling about this?
I don't know anymore. I'm like numb to The Walking Dead. I have all these complicated feelings. Parts of this were fine. Parts of this were okay.
Well, we got to see Old Man Rick is actually Carl's thoughts.
Yeah.
And it's not anybody else's. Carl, spoiler, is dead.
Right, so it took me like
I thought he wasn't going to actually die. I thought he was going to be like, he's immune?
That's what that was my theory. We talked about this like when we watched the episode. I'm like, he can't actually die. But I think I saw like a tweet that like there's like a contract dispute or something weird with him or something like that. My personal theory is that they don't have a good way to show his eye hole because it's had a bandage this whole time, like a strangely long amount of time. He only like unveiled it for like.
Well, I don't think it's not that the bandage is necessity. Like, oh, it's festering. Need this bandage. The bandage is just to cover up this.
Get a
ugly
badass
thing.
eye patch, like an awesome post-apocalyptic
dude. I don't
dude.
think they have anyone who is a sewer at the moment. Everyone's been shot.
That's ridiculous. I hate that.
There's a lot of ridiculous
I hate that
things.
as an answer.
I hate a lot of things.
He has a whole big thing on his head still. It's this crazy thing.
Yeah.
So they obviously like never came up with a permanent solution for that, and I feel like that's part of what's like, oh, Chandler's done after this one. They're like, okay, he can stay for the first half of season 8, I guess. It was this like bullshit thing that happened.
So he had a contract dispute. That's what you heard. So
I don't. I was trying to avoid all the spoilers and all like the things, but you know, it was enough of like a thing to be like, oh, I guess he's actually fully dead or whatever.
Interesting.
Because they left it hanging right where he's like, I'm bit yo and all that stuff, and then
so you think maybe they were like, okay, we'll talk about it. Maybe we can bring him back. I don't know. Oh, nope, didn't sign. He's dead.
Have to cut his whatever off.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm like, oh fuck, whatever. So.
Well.
Going into
it wasn't a huge loss.
Well, going into it, I was like, I bet he'll die, and it will take like a very long time for him to die. And it's like so because we were already saying like it's taking a long time for for him to turn, right? And then it also took a long time for him to die. Certain people get bit and they go and they like stumble back and they're zombies or whatever immediately, right?
Yeah.
Whatever's convenient.
Well,
or something
it's based
like
on
that.
the plot. You know, Chandler's character had his moments. He was all right here and there, but in general, I don't think it's going to hurt the show that badly to have him gone.
Yeah,
I don't think many characters at this point are doing so much for the role that are needed. Do you know what I mean by that? Like,
I do.
Like
I totally
Daryl, who I'm like, nah. If you lose Daryl, I'll be really pissed.
I guess.
That's it, really. Everyone else is kind of dying. Carol is like, you know, that's like the badass girl of choice for most seasons. Like, she's been doing her thing, but then she was like a bitch for a little while, and I'm like, eh.
No, I know. And
I mean a bitch in the sense of that she was barely doing anything. Like,
no, completely. And
like a chump.
And again, we like character development. We like when people change over time and all that stuff, but it has to be done like a certain way. And this has always felt because even like even Daryl's like arc or whatever, where he was like, I wish I would have killed Dwight. That attitude was wrong. Now it's we have this attitude or whatever. These episodes have felt like in season 8 that they're so like long, but there's so little time to have these like discussions, these like debates where they should be like debating the philosophy, right? We've just had like Jesus being like, no, we have to keep all these prisoners. They outnumber us like 3-1. It's perfect. And you're like, what is going on? Like, why is that your way of demonstrating?
And Morgan, who's like, oh, life is sacred. I must kill them all. Like, everybody seems to have these super flip-flop attitudes.
Yeah.
Like, he went from, like, a guy to a killer to a guy to a killer to a guy. Really, guy should be replaced with, like, monk. He went from a killer to a monk to a killer to a monk. Yeah. And then in this one, I was like, if you don't kill that guy, there's something fucking wrong with you people. And then, like, the little kid comes in and does it, and I'm like, all right, then.
I actually thought that they shouldn't have killed that guy.
Why?
We're talking about Gavin. Because of all the people, Gavin seemed to be the most, like, because he says, like, I don't like this. This sucks.
Oh, no,
He wasn't into it.
But
and
only
he was doing
we know that
things.
as a viewer. For everything he's portrayed to them, he should be dead.
Well, but he's no. He like says that to. He says that
you
in
can
front
say
of
a
people
lot
and
of
all that
things
stuff.
when you're gonna die.
No, he was.
Oh, you mean the other times?
Before, yeah. Not like Morgan may not know all that or whatever the fuck, right? But like as a character, I feel like he's been like if anybody was gonna be like. You've like locked me up for a while, and now I'm like redeemable or something like that. Because he didn't kill that kid himself. That was the long-haired guy,
the long-haired
right?
kid,
so like
the bitch. Yeah,
I thought he had the most like redeemable like arc or whatever.
I'm not to say that he could not have been redeemable, or I actually liked his character.
I know,
but anyone who was a lieutenant in an enemy thing, like Dwight should be dead right now. I would never take Dwight in.
Okay.
Because once you've fucked with me,
they're making Dwight cool now. Though.
I know, but I still
supposed
think
to be around.
I still think he'll die. I think me and Daryl are similar enough in that we never forget. And,
you're like elephants, you and Daryl.
And he will have to die.
Yeah, so wasn't our theory that he was going to, like, sacrifice himself for the group and, like, prove himself, redeem himself,
It's gotten almost
die?
too far past that point, though, so now I'm like, I don't know what they're doing.
It's like we had 2.5 moments where that could have happened, and they didn't do that. He's still in, he's in the pipe with them. So you're like, oh, I guess you're the... And people were saying, I think in the comics, he's, like, the new Daryl. He like takes over as the crossbow-wielding badass.
I stopped with the comics.
I don't read the comics. Yeah.
The 6th, I think, like compendium or what the fuck they're called.
Volume.
Yeah, volume. Yeah.
Yeah. I own
8th,
one
9th
and have
volume?
not read it.
I don't know. I used to watch them. I used to read them like as they were coming out. I was like, oh yeah, this is dope. Blah blah. Blah. And then I was like, nah, fuck it.
Yeah, at a certain point, right?
Something happened, and it wasn't even the comic. I didn't fall off because the comic. It was that I was reading them in tandem with a friend, and then we no longer worked together. So it just like I would buy one, then he would buy one, and like or two, I should say. So we each have one, and then it split.
Yeah, extenuating circumstances.
I'd pick it back up though. I enjoyed it.
But so what we're getting at there is the plot, that like side plot: Morgan, Carol, King Zeke, Gavin and the boys at the kingdom, all that stuff happening, right? It's kind of predictable. She's like...
You knew that wall was going to come down and they were going to be there with guns. Because, like, did you not know that
Which
part?
wall are you talking about?
When they're in the thing, the theater room, and they're like, fall back to the blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, the king once escaped through a fake wall there. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure everyone else but the Saviors knows about it. So that wall's going to get knocked down, and then bullets are going to come flying. And then, like, an explosion happened, and it was, like, from that side, I'm like, oh, maybe it's not going to happen. And then, like, the door came down immediately, and I'm like, who threw that explosive? Because nobody else ever came.
I didn't give it a second thought. I was just like, yep, that plays out just fine or whatever. I was going to say it was really predictable how she was like, because the kid is like, I know the stick, I know the gun, I'm coming. And she's like, no, bitch, I keep telling you, no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, he's obviously going to be... And I pictured him with Gavin with like his gun to his head, or I pictured him like doing something and showing up, or getting shot, or a zombie. I feel like something's going to happen with this fucking kid who's going to do his thing. I did not expect that. And it was enough of like a thing where like it just like the sharpened stick just pokes through, and I'm like, did I mix up what direction Gavin was facing? No,
I first took it that way too. I was like, finally, Morgan got him, and then I'm like, wait a minute, that wasn't. Oh, it's the little idiot.
Yeah, I was not rooting for him to kill that guy though, for Morgan to kill that dude. I was like,
that's where we split our opinions.
Yeah, I was like, I hope he stops now, and like we like bring him back, and this is like the whatever. Because one of my notes says horror movie Morgan, because like there's a scene where it's playing like again some of the music choices. It's playing like John Carpenter like do 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 do. And like Morgan's like stalking him, and like there's like his shadow on the wall, and Gavin's like scrambling away and all this stuff, and I was like, what are we watching here? What exactly is happening? Okay. I
was so unconnected with that character, the Gavin character.
Yeah.
That like I was like, who the fuck even is this kid running around? I was like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah. No, he like struck a chord with me really early on, so I've been like paying attention to him.
Over the hiatus, I like forgot about him.
Yeah.
And then when he was chasing this kid, I'm like, what the fuck? Who cares? Let him die.
Gavin's super forgettable, but he's one of Negan's lieutenants. Where I was like, in the back of my mind,
I took the names wrong. The child. What's the child's name? Is what I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Henry.
Is Henry's who I just called Gavin. Yeah.
The
child was so forgettable that I was like, I don't know who the fuck that guy is. All right, they're chasing him. Oh, he's sneaking off into the night, and like I must have blinked or something. So like when they jumped the wall and he was in the thing, I'm like, who even was that?
Yeah, I had the same thing where I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
And he said, I think like, oh, Henry, no, and I was like, who the fuck is Henry?
Yeah, so dumb. I don't know. Whatever.
Where's Jesus?
Jesus is at the hilltop with Maggie, and we didn't touch them this episode at all.
I know. We didn't touch a lot of people this episode.
There were very people that were untouched. This was like a weird mission. I don't know why they had to act so... I guess they had to act quickly because Zeke was going to get taken away or something like that. But,
well, it made sense.
That's fine.
The Axeman, what's his name again?
The Axeman.
What's his name? Like
Axeman.
Carl, or it's not Carl. What's the
Benny?
No.
Bernie?
No.
And the Jets?
Whatever his name is. He's alive still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Well, he was in the Vision, maybe.
That's why I saw him in the vision. I'm like, wait a minute. Is he in the vision because Carl doesn't know he's dead? Or is he still alive?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Before we leave Carol, and then the last little, like, mention this I have in my notes is, like, when the king is like, the petty compromises I made were always made in the name of saving my people's lives. Now I realize I was saving yours, but no more. Yeah. I was like, you're a badass. That's awesome. And Gavin got that look like, oh, like all this stuff or whatever. I dig that. I like Gavin and him talking. I want like more stuff like that on this like show where he's like, oh, you had a good thing going. Why'd you have to go fuck it up? And he's like, there's still time to change your mind. He's like, no, don't you get it? You're dead, you idiot. There's no time. What are you doing? And they're going back and forth like that. Like that's the kind of stuff that I like. Is these
it reminded me of like a board game when someone's talking shit, but you're about to win.
I see.
Like the game of Risk or something where you're like, oh man, I fucked you so dead. Did you like how they went back and they explained how they actually got out of that facility? They were trapped there. They had snipers on them. They had zombies everywhere, and someone they got out. And no. I'm like, well, they got out because you let them get out, you fucking idiot. You had snipers aimed at them and didn't take a shot when they were starting to shoot the zombies.
Yeah.
And then somehow they're like, oh, they're making a trench out of the dead. It was this tall. If the zombies can't get over that, why don't we just put like lines of garden gnomes around our houses and we're totally impervious? Like it was such a low trench. They're making a path. What? Why are you not shooting?
That was absolutely
And then
horrible.
somehow they got from point A to point B where Morgan was like in a heartbeat.
Well, and they knew where he was, somehow.
They might have had their people looking for snipers. I don't know.
I guess no. I hated that whole thing because, like, I didn't remember, about this until that sequence. But ever since last finale, the end of part 1 of season 8, we've been like, everyone's just like, but Eugene, he got us out. He redeemed himself. Just when I think you can't get any stupider, you go ahead and do something like this. And completely,
but like your plan is shoot them with guns.
Yeah. No, and I'm left wondering, was that Eugene's plan? Because
there must have been something. Like next episode, we'll see it from their point of view, like what they did. There has to be something else.
I suspect,
like a distraction happened over here, and they did a thing over here, or something.
I feel like it's a 40% chance that the writers have just forgotten about that, and that's and that this was that.
I'd say, Lee, you're crazy, but. There's an 80% chance I will give it that it was never addressed again.
I feel like that might just be right where they had some plan and they just were like, you know what, it's fine or something, because like all that extra dialogue that they dubbed in of like. Right, and like they're making so like how do zombies actually get off the street onto a curb if they can't get over the
it doesn't make any sense.
Over 2 bodies or whatever the fuck, right?
We see them like climbing up hills on all 4s, like they can't, like what?
No, I don't.
And like if you're able to just blow holes, like cut a swash through the world. Why couldn't you have just done that and walked anywhere? Like, why are there ever zombie hordes that are unstoppable?
There honestly shouldn't be. This show's
how many bullets did they have? Though they unloaded so many bullets in that
to shoot the different zombies.
How many people did they have left, and how many bullets did they have left? How many guns do they have? Like, what are their numbers?
Yeah.
Are they even able to fight? Because we took all the ones that were guarding the kingdom. They're all dead now. Like every one of them, right? No one even escaped like running.
I've lost track of some of this shit. I'll be perfectly honest.
And then at Alexandria, there can't be many people there, if any, because we watched them bury Carl like out in the open. Like they walked in, they went to a thing. Like
all the people had left, but they very cleverly didn't have to ever show them.
Yes.
So you have no idea how many people are there. So we could save money on that, right? And in the during last season, Rick gets out of the shipping container and he shows up with the Junkrats.
Yeah.
And then they're like, Morgan's gone. He didn't make it, or did he make it or not?
Yeah.
Right? There was a whole like.
And then they ran away.
There was a whole hanging thing. Then they ran to Alexandria, and now they're in the pipe or whatever. So like, there really hasn't been that much time for the people. To have like planned and like executed whatever plan this is, right?
Well, you would have to think fast. Your whole world is coming down around you.
Wait, so that means
Literally.
what? So like the morning that they're burying Carl, is that the night after? What's his name?
Your statement has lost me already. The morning they're burying Carl, is that the night after?
No. So like the night before the morning that they're burying Carl, that would have to be the same night that like Maggie and everybody meet up with the mustache man who like breaks out of Negan's hideout?
Yes.
There was only one day because Carl hadn't died yet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Well, it doesn't make sense, no, but that's what's happening.
Because that means they're not having a good time, but we're on the way to the hilltop. Did we make it there yet? Oh, jeez. I'm upset.
We'll see next episode, I imagine.
I'm so turned about. Like, I should have gone back and watched the last episode of, like, the first thing to, like, reset my things or whatever, I guess. But I'm very much like...
All these hiatuses are always bad in that regard.
Ugh. Not this bad, I feel like.
Well, you have to think about it this way. A, it's a long period of just not being a show, because they take these fucking breaks. But the B, it's a weird show with fucking arcs that don't exist. They're memories of a child who's dead. There's things that just timelines don't make sense. The writers that don't care about you or anything else. So like all that added up is going to make it very hard to.
Getting a bad feeling about this.
Well, it hasn't been a good feeling in some seasons now.
Let's go back to the pipe.
Back to the pipe.
We're in the pipe. Carl's dying.
What pipe even is that?
I don't know what impossible pipe this is, and how it's so conveniently located and like undetectable by the people crawling around, blowing everything up all around.
Even that aside, like say you're not looking in the pipe, it's still a sewer pipe. You should be dying of methane, like
or something. I mean, even like an unoperational sewer pipe. I don't know. I don't
I don't think it gets that much better.
You should be running into the Ninja Turtles. Something should be happening.
It seems like it doesn't go anywhere either. It's like a 20-foot pipe.
It seems like a 30-foot set. That's a pipe. Yeah. Whatever. It's, you know, I can't nitpick certain things because by themselves they wouldn't alone bother me. But yes, it's just the whole cast is in a pipe. Carl's in there and he's dying.
A pipe with just like rooms made of pipe. It's literally a Ninja Turtles set.
Yes, there's an old subway and they're all in there with their weapons up on the wall. Sadiq is there. He's a doctor.
Apparently, a resident at least.
Good enough in the apocalypse. Heusel was a vet, right? He was a farmer vet guy, so that was good enough. It's good enough for me. They argue about leaving the pipe. They talk to Dwight. Michonne is like, make it stop, as if Dwight could go tell them, hey guys, we're done, or something like that, which is crazy or whatever.
If he were not compromised, he potentially could do something like that because he was like one of the top dogs.
Maybe. I don't know.
That wouldn't make any sense.
Okay, but he is compromised literally because
that girl knows.
The girl saw him pulling the shenanigans.
And presumably she's still alive.
And has told someone or it's not going to work or whatever the fuck.
You would have to act under that assumption. Regardless, assuming your cover is blown and they know you to be a traitor, and Negan seems not the type that would treat a traitor very well. He's in fact burned his face once for just doing some bullshit.
Burn the other side of your face now.
Yeah.
Then we get into like the long speeches, which is the vast majority of like what's going on here. A lot of sad talking, a lot of promising. I'll make it real, Carl. All that stuff. These things happen.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this?
Well,
did you feel sad? Did you feel like, oh no?
I didn't, and that's how like I know I'm like not vested anymore.
Did you not like Carl though? Is it possible?
It's not that I didn't like Carl. Earlier on, I liked Carl. It's just that the show on the whole has led me down a path where I don't care much for any of the characters.
Yeah.
Like you could kill pretty much any character right now, and it wouldn't change the episodes that much for me. I would like them to honor certain characters with a better death than others, but other than that, I don't think the show is like, it's for a show that has literally limitless potential. Zombies with a budget and the quality of acting we've come to know in the show, you could do anything. The writing is what's destroying them, though.
Yeah, I thought about this a little bit, and like the reason why I used to like, so like. I don't like, or I haven't in a while liked when the deaths are this big production, where it's the slow-mo music, like Tyrese. Tyrese was okay, but like Beth and certain people,
I thought Tyrese's death sucked.
What do you mean?
He just gets bit, and you're like, oh, come on, man.
No, that's good.
The dude who fights his way out with a hammer in a trap room, he dies like that. Damn you, Chris. Everyone hates you.
It's okay though, because like the world is brutal, and sometimes you die for like dumb reasons or whatever.
That's more than true.
And like at the end of the day, I can live with that. I don't like when there's like slow-mo walking and music and shit happening or whatever, and it becomes this like big to-do. Like Beth's, I think, was a good example of that. And I remember thinking or saying like, yeah, the show is at a point where it can't kill anyone without devoting all this like time to it. You can't just have somebody like T-Dog just get stuck in the hallway and just die. You can't just do it like you used to do it, which is sad to me. And then
I miss T-Dog. I liked him.
I was just thinking, I watched I watched the episode where they all come out of Herschel's bar and they have to shoot him and all that stuff. recently, and I was like,
and the last one's the little daughter, right?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that show used to be so good. But like part of why characters dying used to be like a big deal is what you're getting at is like the writing, like because you don't care about the actor no longer being on the show like you do, but maybe not. Like you care about like, oh, Carol was just finding her whatever, or oh, Daryl's gonna like redeem himself, or oh you know like she never got to tell Tara that she loves her anymore. Like there were like because
your first drink's not gonna be schnapps.
Yes,
like there were great things
because the characters were going somewhere. Their deaths hurt you because they weren't going to get to go where they were going. Now the characters just go in circles and don't do anything. So if they die, you're just like, all right, I guess we'll get somebody else who can.
Yes, when there's a mission that you want to succeed, or a relationship you want to thrive, or I want him to get to finally do that thing. Oh, she always wanted to see the ocean. She's dead. Like there are things that like make you, or like oh, that character was so young, it's so tragic. How did they die that way? Now. None of the characters, I don't even know some of their names.
Well, like Noah, Chris, right, dies in that revolving door sequence or whatever. But like he had just talked to like the old dude who was like, well, you should take this book now, start writing stuff down. I'm gonna teach you how to build walls. And he was all like, okay, like he was gonna like learn and do all that stuff, which was an obvious setup for like his death or whatever. But it's still at the very least being like, yes, this character's dying, but they were gonna do all this stuff. And Carl, the same thing, where it was going to be like, now that I know that he was like walking dead, to use a pun or whatever, all of his like growing balls and like standing up to Negan,
not as cool,
and doing all that stuff, is like, and that sucks because it explains it, and I like it, but it's not as cool as like, I don't know. I'm of two minds about this, because on the one hand, it would have been dumb and like convenient if like on the same day he like really like started to grow into like a leadership role, he then dies or whatever. But that's the show's fault for not taking more time to like develop those things or whatever. And here, it makes it make sense that he only did those things because he was literally dying, but it cheapens it a little bit.
But at the same time, you have a lot of people that, like, when they find they're going to die, their life is over, they're a crippled mess. He like, I'm going to die, but I have something to live for. Yeah. And he made the most of his thing. And he did. He's the reason that he saved that party in those maneuvers. And that's why I thought it would be so great if he was immune. It would have been wonderful. It would have been like, all right, live like you were. I could have been killed. You're right, you could have been killed.
And he was like, oh my god, yeah. That would have almost been like so perfect, because he like became like, he went from the boy he was to the man he like always could have been, and then it was a false alarm. And
then he can stay there.
And he got to be that guy. Yeah, that would have been super cool. But he just ends up. I like him writing letters to everyone, and I like Daryl being like, you're the man, you saved everybody, we're out though, and like leaving. I like that stuff. But no, I just felt, I don't know, I didn't feel much either, but I felt like I should be feeling more, which made me go like, oh no, like you're saying, like it's gotten to a point or whatever.
But it's just it's a fault of the writers, and I want them to get almost a fresh start, where if they kill off enough of the old favorites, maybe they can start a new thing with like brand new writers that have nothing like, oh, but blah blah wouldn't act that way, and this now we gotta do this and show whatever, like start over. Almost, just get us to a point. Well, this is a show that can run forever because of what it is. Just do it right.
I actually thought that they were doing that because they had these separate settlements set up, and people were kind of splitting up, and I thought like, oh, okay, we're going to spend like a season where there's not enough characters in like one place to like be a show, so you're going to have the other people that are in those different places grow into more characters, and then we're going to kill half, but we're going to pick randomly so that you end up with a cast that's not the original cast. And that did not happen at all.
I heard something, and I don't know if it's happening this season or if it's happening next season, but they said that like that other show, what is it, Fear the Walking Dead, is going to have a crossover into Walking Dead.
I heard that too. How the hell could that possibly happen?
I don't know, because they don't even seem to be fighting the same types of zombies.
I tried to watch Fear the Walking Dead.
I really couldn't get into it. Yeah.
I got through a few episodes after watching the first episode like twice, just to like deal with it or whatever, and then like like after that session, never went back to like the show to watch it again. So I'm on episode 3 or something like that. But no, it did not engage me. But yeah, they're in Miami, I guess, so they're just south of our guys, so they could like take a boat or meet them up with them.
They're not too far,
I suppose. Oh, they'll probably meet at the is the ocean side by the ocean?
Yeah.
Because then a boat from Miami where didn't they end up on a boat? I saw like a trailer for Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh, I don't know. I don't see trailers.
Yeah. I could do it like that. That's probably what's gonna happen.
We'll see. You have anything else you want to say about this episode?
Visions.
Okay, what do you got?
We touched on that already, but I wanted to make like special note, right, that Carl seems to clarify that, because for a while the visions were confusing, then they were abandoned, and then now they're back or whatever, right? And we were very much like, what the fuck's going on with this? And I love pretentious bullshit, but this was like, what is happening here? But they seem to clarify that this is Carl's vision.
Yeah.
That Eugene's there, Negan's there, everyone's there, or whatever the fuck. I thought Carl was originally there, but I guess he took himself out of his future when he realized he was going to die, and that's why it changed or something like that.
Maybe.
But there's also, related to that, a similar vision of Rick under a tree, where
at the end it seems like it's now his vision. It
looks to me like he's turning into a zombie because of the way his eyes are like a different shade of like the color.
Wait, where did you see in the vision?
Yeah. I don't know. You don't agree with this because you didn't agree last time. His eyes are very raw and like red around them, but the actual like colored part of the eye also seems to be like a paler shade of blue. To me, I could be wrong, but I feel like he might have been bitten. He seems to be bleeding and like injured at the very least, if not bitten.
In the vision, not in reality.
In the vision,
yeah.
Totally in the vision, yeah. It could just be the lighting there, or the fact that he has makeup on to make himself look so raw and like haggard and stuff like that.
I just took it as an older man who was probably crying.
Yeah, he looked all cried out and stuff, so it's possible none of that's there or like whatever. But when they cut wide finally in this one, you see the stained glass thing and you see the tree, and he seems to be bleeding, I thought. He seems to be injured. So I don't know.
I didn't see that, and I don't ever go back and look at things again, so I can't
utterly
tell
refuse to do any research.
But that would be interesting. But what would that even mean for me now? That Rick leaves the show too? Who runs the show? Who runs Bartertown without Rick?
Well, so that was going to be...
Because it was going to be Carl.
Yeah.
Now Carl's gone.
That was going to be the plan, I thought. Was like, remember, for all these seasons, Carl grew up and was like, no, Dad, we can't do it the way you're doing it. And he was like, I'm changing my opinion too. We got to fight. And everything was going to be, it was going to changing. Right, so I guess Maggie's the leader, but like Carl was going to grow up into being the new leader who had his own thoughts and ideas about everything. So now maybe Rick will change his mind because he made a promise to Carl or something.
Maybe.
I'm not jazzed. How does this end? Like, what's supposed to happen next?
I think it peters out and has a cliffhanger that just never gets picked back up because they get canceled off season.
Wait, what do you mean?
I thought you were saying, how does the show ultimately end?
I meant this episode, but I think that applies to both.
It ends with him snapping out of that vision, and then it's over.
I don't know. Okay. I mean, like, what's supposed to happen next on this show?
Carl's
dead, and they're going to go get the saviors, the rest of the saviors?
Yeah, they're going to further walk towards their goal of eliminating them from the earth, and then sing Kumbaya.
We didn't get to see Maggie or any of them or any of that stuff. We don't know what's happening next. This was mostly about Carl's death, and we sort of shared our thoughts about that or whatever. I knew that too, I guess. I just never thought it would be what it was once I finally saw it. I don't know.
Yeah. He had some last words from people. He found out Michonne was his best friend, and she was his.
That was cute. There was some cute stuff.
I like Daryl's.
It was definitely
you saved
good.
These people.
Yeah.
That's on you.
Sure. Yeah, and there's a bunch of people that didn't get to say goodbye to him that probably like developed some friendships with and all that stuff. Enid's not around. Maggie's not around. All that
they got letters.
Yes, he wrote a giant stack of letters.
I wonder if we'll ever see all the letters.
I wonder. Letters are becoming a thing on this show.
I was worried you were going to find out that his letters got destroyed. And then they never got to send them because like, they were in the house and the house got bombed. But he had them on him or something.
Oh, the montage when he's dying and he's doing all that stuff. It's like the montage of him writing the letters and fixing his wound and he's playing with Judith and all that stuff. I liked that a lot.
Taking pictures with her.
Yeah.
I also wondered if those pictures are destroyed.
I wrote down selfie with Judith in there, yeah.
No, it was nice.
Fucking nice.
Trying to give some memories before he's gone.
Yeah, really trying to make the most of his time. In a way, irresponsible because he could have turned into a zombie at any moment, I think.
While playing alone with his sister.
While playing alone with a very young child. But hey, right?
Whatever. For the plot.
For the plot.
Yeah, I think that's everything that happened in this episode. So let us know what you think about it in the comments below, guys. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Did I question? I care about you. And did I question? I care about you.